Am I in the show?
Hello and welcome. Facebook Live. It's early. Lindsay Price here, resident playwright for Theater Folk, and usually on Fridays it's Giveaway Friday, and usually we're doing these more in the 11 o'clock hour rather than the 8:30 hour. But today, our niece has been at drama camp for a whole week. Drama camp, I know. And today is her final presentation. So we're going to go, and it's a 2-hour drive. So we will be leaving. I will be in a car at 11 o'clock. So I will not be able to do the Giveaway Friday Theater Folk on at 11, but I'm doing it now, so it's 8:30, so you can still do it. You can watch it at 11 if you want. I'm sure it'll still be up. So we're very, very excited that we get to go and we get to see what's the culminating process for my 6-year-old niece at her week at drama camp. Now, my niece is very practical. We took her to her very first play, and the first thing she did was turn around and look at partner in crime, Craig Mason. Turned around, looked at him, and went, "Uncle Craig, you know this is fake, right?" And it's like, yes, we did know it was fake. We were hoping you perhaps didn't know it was fake. And then last year we saw a video of her culminating week at drama camp, and a kid walked in, and she was a witch, and we said to Sarah, we said, oh, you know, is that a witch? She looked at us very practically, went, "No, that's one of the older kids pretending to be a witch." So I don't know if there is a life on the stage for my niece, but that's okay, because I love still that she's having this experience, and then we get to go and see. So giveaway is a bit earlier today than it would be on Friday, but that's what we're all about here. We got to be a little flexible. So the link is in the description for this week's Theater Folk Friday giveaway, and it's a practical giveaway that we've got this week. It is a page of improv games specifically for collaboration. You know, this time of year when you are getting your peeps together, you are working in the classroom, you are doing your working on your procedures, making sure that your class is working like a well-oiled machine. This is the time. This is the time when you want your students to practice what you do when you want quiet, whether it's a clapping motion, whether it's a clapping pattern, whether it's a call and repeat, whether it's something else. What are the procedures for getting into a circle? What are the procedures for if you have desks in your classroom, turning your classroom from a desk formation into an audience formation? And it's also the time when you want to work on getting your students to work together, when you want to work on getting your students to work as a ensemble and as a team, and to work on collaboration. Collaboration skills are, I think, some of the most important skills that happen in the drama classroom. There are huge buzzwords these days: collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creative thinking. And yet, I think that those are the 4 really important skills that drama class works on, embodies, and it's really not so much about what play are we putting on, or indeed, you know, having someone walk in and say, "Oh, it's just a bunch of games, it's just a bunch of silliness." That's not it at all. And there is a lot of impact and value that you can use when improv is used for purpose. And this is one of those purposes, right? Great improv games to work on collaboration skills, such as word at a time story, right? Students sit in a circle, you give them a title for a story, the best birthday ever, and then the story is told one word at a time. And that it's important that the story makes sense, right? Everybody has to work together to build a story, and not just throwing in funny words to make a laugh. That everybody has to work together. Family portrait. Divide your class into groups, and every group has to come up one at a time. They're given a title for a picture that revolves around a family of dentists. Okay? You can even get more specific. Right after Grandma's big announcement, and that they have 10 seconds to form a portrait based on the title. And that they have to work together, and a time limit forces them to work quickly. That is really important, that we want, you want students to not only to work together, but to work quickly, so that ideas have to be pounced on rather than rejected. The longer that students have, and that's where another thing that improv is really good at is, here's an idea, let's go with it. Here's an idea, oh, we gotta go. We can't sit around and debate. We can't sit around and look for something perfect, which I think that's something that I find a lot of working in classrooms today, that today's students that they get really worried about that the thing has to be perfect. You know, the thing has to get the good mark. The thing has to be great, because if it's not great, then I'll get laughed at, or someone will tell me I'm wrong. You know, there is wrong, but there is no wrong when it comes to taking ideas and running with them. Foreign film dub. A scene for a group of 4. 2 players act out a scene in gibberish, and then the second 2 players are the English language dubbers, and they have to translate the scene into English. And that the way that a group like this can work together is that those who are speaking in gibberish just can't stand there and talk nonsense. They have to work with their teammates to give them something that they can then turn into English. And the way to do that is with a lot of physical action. And then same circle. And this has a lot of different names. I'm sure you've played this game and it's done in some other name, where everyone stands in a circle. Person A makes a small gesture. The person beside them repeats that gesture, and they go round and round the circle. And the point of it is that to try and make it exactly the same. So everyone is looking and focusing on the gesture. Not just that, oh, it's my turn, I get to go, but that it's my turn and I have to repeat it exactly. And you can do the same exercise with sounds. This document is, it's 2 pages long, so that's awesome. So there's not just, we don't just give you more. There's group environment, right? Where someone enters the space and creates an environment, and someone has to, when they know what the environment is, come in and join. Actor switch. 3 actors are doing a scene, they're given a situation, they're given characters from the audience. They start the scene, as you do in many improvs, but at some point you call switch, and the 3 actors now have to switch characters. So that means they had to have been paying attention, they had to be listening. I think it might be one of the #1 important improv skills, is that you have to listen to the people that you are on stage with and work with them. And try and switch characters and see if they can pick up where they left off. Story death. 5 actors across the front of a space, and they're going to tell a story, get a topic from the audience, and then the teacher acts as the conductor, and when you point it at one of the actors, they have to tell the story, and the point is that it has to be seamless from one actor to the next. And when someone stumbles or goes or repeats or doesn't make it seamless, well, they have to die. And of course, the most imaginary and imaginative death scene ever. The bigger, the better. Hitchhiker. A scene with 3 actors and 3 chairs. The scene starts out with a driver and a passenger, and the hitchhiker comes in, and they have a certain physicality, a character, a vocal quality, and the point is that the other passenger, existing passenger in the car, and the driver have to take on that personality, physical, character, vocal. And that it's not intended to be funny, but because there has to be conversation and the scene has to make sense, they have to work together. And that at some point the driver comes up with a reason to leave the car, everyone moves over one, and there's a new hitchhiker. So there we have, in the description here, this is Theater Folk Friday giveaway. I'm Lindsay Price, resident playwright for Theater Folk. And we are doing a giveaway, and this giveaway today is, as I've been talking about, improv games for collaboration. What are some good improv games to work on collaboration skills? And if you're watching this now or you're watching it later, add your own to the comments. What are your great improv games for collaboration? What are you doing with your students right now at the beginning of class to start them to work together, to think of themselves as a group and not individuals in a class? What are you doing to get them to think of that really important definition of ensemble, not, oh, I'm just someone who's not important in a play. Ensemble is so important when everybody is working together and thinking together as a team. And if you start working on those skills now, when you actually get later down the road in November, or, you know, whenever it is that you are putting on working on traditional scenes, if you've done all this work now to get students into the mindset of working together, then that is going to go give you leaps and bounds, because if they start working as a team now, when they work as on a scene, then they're already going to feel that they are part of an ensemble. Okay, so that is the link below. That is the link below the me. The link is in the description. Actually, is it above or below?
It's above.
Hey, Craig Mason. Hello, Craig Mason.
Hello.
Craig Mason says that it is above the video. Now, before I go, I just want to talk about our play of the week on our Facebook page. I keep forgetting. I can't do this because this is actually backwards. You can't actually see it.
It's above.
Oh, it's above. And our play of the week, which we have a play of the week every week on our Facebook page. And it's not just a pretty picture at the top of our Facebook page. That is one of the plays in our catalog that we feature. Sometimes it's got a picture from a production. Sometimes it's got our lovely logo. And the play this week is Sweep Under Rug. Sweep Under Rug is a drama. It's one of my dramas. And it's one of those ones that is very dear to my heart for the writing process that I took. And I also am very proud that it's out there in the world. It's a small cast, but it really needs everybody to sort of be on the same page. It's really important that everybody's on the page about this play. And it sort of takes place, it envisions a future where struggling families and poor families are placed in not only in a section of the city where this particular play takes place in this imaginary future, that it takes place where all the poor are segregated. And not only that, they are put into a Bobby Sue program. And a Bobby Sue is a guardian of sorts. It is someone in the home who is warning against the missteps of life and guides the owners along the appropriate path of life. And what that really means is the appropriate part of life is the part of life where you do what you're told and you don't break out and you be obedient. So what happens when we have a family where somebody wants to think for themselves and actually doesn't want to live in a segregated part of the city and wants to go out and be a individual and be a unique human being when your whole entire life you've been told not to? And so this is for me it was a fascinating write, because I wanted to I decided that each one of the characters was going to have a very, very specific way of speaking. So the Bobby Sue, who is described as looking like a fresh-faced teen of the 50s, is a highly advanced computer. She's always happy. She always moves mechanically but never speaks like a robot. And it's really awful when the villain of your play is always happy, I think. And then we have Ariel, who is the smart and she wants to like go beyond her means. She doesn't want to go to a school and become a secretary. She wants to go to school and become a doctor, which is something that these group of people never do. And then there's Miranda, an older sister, and she is in so much despair over where she lives that she has started to lose her language. So she is a former poet who has she can't actually talk. She has lost most of her vocabulary. There's a Counselor Kelly, who is the government worker, who, again, is also mostly happy. And when your villains are really happy, I think that's a horrible thing. And then there's a revolutionary who has been working in the underground, and he's not winning. That's what I have to say. The revolution, it's not winning. So I just wanted to read the first. So in the first 2 pages, we are introduced to the world of our play. That's really important when you have your students writing, and they want to write something that perhaps isn't real, that the audience has never seen before. They have to find a way to introduce the world that basically says, here's where we are, here's who we are, this is the situation of the world, so we're all going to just jump in. So we have Miranda, who speaks first, and she says, "There's no more paper for poetry. It is unuseful, unproductive, ineffective. My fingers ache to guide a pen across a white plain, to build mountains and bridges, to be my champion and savior." So we start with poetry, and then we move into Counselor Kelly, who is the tone of an overly cheerful children's entertainment counselor. Counselor Kelly here on CITY with the evening announcements for blocks 7A through E. I'm so excited to announce the upcoming plans for the 10th annual Bobby Sue celebration. I can't wait. Can you believe it's been 10 years? A Bobby Sue in every home that needs one has been our motto from the very beginning. We see no reason to change it. So Ariel, up until this point, has had a good time with Bobby Sue. And she says, well, Bobby Sue wakes me up in the morning. Baby Sue compliments my outfit. Bobby Sue reminds me that breakfast program requires city ID. Bobby Sue tells me to have a great day at school. If she could, she'd stand and watch me out the window till I was out of sight. And then the revolutionaries, they're all trying to destroy the Bobby Sues. It's not difficult. So Conrad says, it's not difficult, but it's not easy. You only get one chance. Early versions have flaws, remarkable flaws, which we continue to take advantage of, but later models have become more of a challenge. The easiest thing to do with a Mach 1 and 2 is to bash it on the head. One of the biggest mistakes they made in the beginning was trying to make it human. It powers down at night to simulate sleep, it sees with its eyes, talks with its mouth, and thinks with its brain. The most important circuitry is in the head. They stopped doing that with the Mach 3s. And then they stopped talking altogether. Never try to disconnect a Mach 4. They've added a self-destruct feature, which we've learned about the hard way, I'm afraid. We're still working on how to deal with the Mach 4s. So that's Sweep Under Rug. Sweep Under Rug. It is a drama. It takes place in an imaginary future. And it is a really wonderful acting challenge. It would be really good scene work for your students in terms of what is character voice and how do characters express themselves. And how do characters express themselves when they're in a situation that they don't know how to get out of. Okay, so check out the link for our giveaway, Improv Games for Collaboration. It's in the description, which is above me. Go to theaterfolk.com and check out our play of the week, Sweep Under Rug. And I am going to see you all next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And break a leg to my knees. Yeah.